It was a different speedway that greeted race fans in 1911. Ruts, chuck holes, and flying stones contributed by the crushed stone and tar surface had been replaced with 3 million paving bricks of 10 pounds each. Fisher's $700,000 investment also included concrete retaining walls and guardrails. His dream of including a 2.5-mile road course within the oval was all but forgotten. Because racing crowds had been dwindling, one race was decided upon in May of 1911, 500 miles. 80,000 people filled the grandstands on opening day as the official starter waved a red flag signaling a clear course ahead. 40 cars ran 5 abreast down the straightaway as Carl Fisher drove the Stoddard-Dayton pace car, occupying what we now see as the pole position. All but one of the cars carried a riding mechanic. Ray Harroun had instead rigged up a rear-view mirror to keep informed of approaching drivers. As his number 32 yellow and black Marmon Wasp raced toward victory, accidents and poor conditions plagued the race itself. A spectacular crash took 3 cars out in the pits, while a riding mechanic was fatally injured in a separate accident. It was all Ray Harroun could do to keep his machine under control on the oil-slick surface.
When the race finally ended after 6 hours and 42 minutes, Harroun claimed victory for the Marmon Company. Nicknamed the Yellow Jacket, his machine averaged 74.602 miles an hour. Ray Harroun's prize money amounted to $14,000. It was the Speedway's first 500-mile race, but it was Ray Harroun's last. He retired from racing. He vowed never to race again, even for twice as much money. Harroun told Wilbur Shaw and others about his run later.
I figured I could save weight and get more speed by riding alone. The job of the mechanic in those days was to watch behind and notify the driver when other cars were trying to pass. They claimed that it'd be dangerous for me to ride alone, so I rigged up this little gadget.
The trick worked. The Marmon Company got its money's worth. It had more orders for passenger cars than it could fill. The race was successful for car manufacturers, drivers, and Carl Fisher himself.
The next few years brought changes. Riding mechanics were made mandatory, and the starting lineup was limited to 1 car per 400 feet of track, which meant only 33 starters. In 1912, the total prize money was doubled to $50,000. The crowds continued to swell, and so did the excitement surrounding the race. Artists and photographers have captured this period of Speedway history. For example, here in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Hall of Fame Museum is a picture of the 1915 winner, Ralph De Palma. But he is depicted 3 years earlier in 1912 as he pushed this giant Mercedes toward the finish line with the help of his riding mechanic. His face is a picture of disappointment. You can see his frustration as Joe Dawson roared past to win the 1912 500.
A young rookie named Eddie Rickenbacker would finish 21st in his number 6 Firestone Columbus. In direct contrast to De Palma's defeat, consider the gaiety and informality depicted in these early photographs of French driver Jules Goux. 1913 brought with it the arrival of overseas drivers and teams, and with them the differences of their customs. Those differences are captured in these photographs. Goux, the 25-year-old son of the superintendent in charge of the Peugeot factory, became the first European to win the 500-mile race in 1913. During the race, Goux consumed 4 bottles of champagne and then said, "Without the good wine, I would have not been able to win."